I'm trying to build Tyranitar EX differently. My biggest issue with the deck is sometimes you're just a bit too slow in the early turns, so by the time you actually get your Tyranitar EX set up and are hitting big damage, you're already too many prize cards behind to really be able to come back and win. So I'm pairing it alongside Arceus VSTAR for the damage presence in the early turns. We also have Starbird to be able to set up all of our stage 2s and get going very quickly. I'm going to jump straight to the list because I have a lot I kind of want to unpack here. I'm playing Hawlucha, Radiant Alakazam, and Gapejaw Bog to try to play to the deck's strengths. Try to because Tyranitar cannot one-shot things by itself, nor really can Arceus. Gapejaw Bog can help us damage our bench Pokemon for the Tyranitar's bonus effect on the second attack, and also soften up Pokemon like an Arceus can take out a Pokemon EX or a Pokemon V. And we also have Radiant Alakazam and Hawlucha, and we can combine with Choice Belt to make our Arceus just a bit more proactive in the early turns. Pidgeot is just simply insane. I want to be playing it in pretty much every single stage 2 deck. I would not be opposed going to a 2-2 line. And also Medicham sort of works with the Hawlucha and Alakazam because like Tyranitar is only ever hitting 250 damage at most, 280 with a Choice Belt, so you're gonna be like sort of short on Pokemon EX, Pokemon VSTAR sometimes. So with the Medicham Yoga Loop, we can be able to knock those Pokemon out and take the extra turn. And also with the Bog and Alakazam, we can also have that synergy with Medicham. Also, I'm playing Colress and not heavy research. I still want to have one research around because we can get it with Starbird or Quick Search, but I just don't like playing like heavy discard draw in Rare Candy decks because there'll be a lot of times where you have Rare Candy but no stage 2 or stage 2 but no Rare Candy, and dumping a lot of Rare Candies genuinely feels pretty bad. Other than that, pretty standard, I guess. I do want to touch on the Raihan and EXP share because one of my biggest problems with this deck is sometimes if that early Arceus goes down, you're very reliant on EXP share and Raihan to get that Tyranitar going quickly. And I guess I would not be opposed if you wanted to try to work in some gutsy pickaxes or just some other ways to accelerate energies to your Tyranitars. I think that this is like gives you the strongest early game, but sometimes your late game is not quite as strong because you can't get 2 Tyranitar loaded up fast enough. But I think in this meta game, you gotta be fast to have a solid presence in it. I did have a couple pretty quality games where I'm able to utilize both parts of the deck really well, so please stick around and enjoy the battles. So let's see how Tyranitar EX is going to do today. I'm trying to make my list as consistent as possible, so hopefully we'll have some early game Tyranitar plays and we can get some good value out of Arceus. Going first, always amazing for any sort of evolving and especially Arceus decks. I'm trying to be pretty aggressive because I feel like a lot of Tyranitar lists right now are sort of okay with being slow, which is not it in my opinion right now, at least in this current metagame. Tan's pretty okay, just I would like more ball search for sure. Battle VIP Pass could be a very intriguing option. We're just like not playing any bonus ways to find it first turn, so you pretty much have to like luck into it. We find a Larvitar, I'll drop the Bog, and then I'll unfortunately have to pass. There's not a whole lot in this hand. So we're against Lunarok, which can be a pretty fast and aggressive deck. So it's probably unlikely that this Arceus goes down, but if they have an escape rope or a boss. Oh, it's the Shadow Rider with the Lunatone and Soul Rock. Oh, this is kind of interesting. I have yet to face this deck. I know it was kind of hyped going into Obsidian Flames, but I haven't really seen it a whole lot. So they'll be trying to bump my Bog very early and get past the peak. I probably should not have dropped this Bog yet because I don't have any Pokemon to actually damage. My Soul Rock and Lunatone is not going to be affecting them at all. So there's an energy retrieval. Then what's cool about this combo is you can shut off the Path to the Peak effect on yourself, and then you can like still sun energy onto your Soul Rock or onto your Lunatone. I'm pretty I was okay getting Iono'd. This is just not a whole lot to work with. I'll have to use Starbird pretty much just to find some attacker or find some draw support, I guess. Luckily, this deck is sort of slow, so we don't have to worry about necessarily getting knocked out next turn. But yeah, Path to the Peak is rushing here. We don't have anything now. Okay, we'll bench this back up Larvitar. I would Trinity Charge to pull an energy out of my deck, and yeah, well. Next turn could be good for us if they like pile multiple energy on this Lunatone to Gust and knock it out, because then the Path to the Peak will be negatively affecting them. But dang, I was trying to be fast, but Path to the Peak plus Iono early on is really limiting us. So there is an Underworld Door. What's cool about this Calyrex deck is once it gets going, you really see a lot of cards And it does take you a couple turns, but you do reach a pretty high damage threshold. So 1 Underworld Door. But the issue is that if you can't stack Calyrexes up, the deck is quite slow. So if things are going right, it feels amazing. But when you do sort of start slowly, like you don't get your Calyrexes down on turn 1 or miss your Shadow Riders on turn 2, then you really start to struggle. So there's a Serena, which will help them draw more cards, but not as powerful as something like a Research. And that's a... Okay, wow, they dump. They didn't want to go for Iono because they saw that my hand was poor. So there's a Sun Energy, there's Attachment, and they're just going to Shadow Mist. So I have 2 intriguing things I could do here. I can boss and KO this Lunatone and make it so Path is negatively affecting them and clear some energies out of play. I could play Colress and get myself a few more cards, whilst also hitting into this Calyrex. Or I can just hit this guy. I think what I want to do, just because of how like weak my opponent's board state is relatively, I'm going to play Boss's Orders and knock out this Lunatone, so now they'll be hampered by their own path to the peak. We'll drop an energy on a Larvitar, and then we'll Trinity Nova for the knockout. So now my opponent really... See, what's the most energies they can get into play? With 3 Underworld Doors and 1 Sun Energy, plus Manual Attachment, they can get 5 into play, which will then be 7, which is only 220 damage. So it's pretty much impossible that they can knock us out. Like maybe play like a Raihan or something, or a second Soul Rock, I guess. They just play the Iono, but they can't use their own ability just because of the way this deck works. That is one sort of negative about being... Yeah, their own path, they're really hurting them right now. They can't stack those energies in play. Like a Nest Ball and establish a Pidgey, or drilling all our rare candies. Backup Arceus could also be kind of nice. I think I'm just going to grab Pidgey, because then if Arceus does go down, I can Raihan and kind of Stadium or something like that. I think we just swing for the knockout then. Getting Arceus would be a lot more appealing if Double Turbo was a potential option, because the Shadow Mist does shut it off. So it's still pretty unlucky that my Arceus gets taken out, and even if it does, we do have Raihan to sort of get going. There's a Serena dumping a ton of Psychic Energy. Trying not to sneeze. Man, I'm trying to kill my mic, and headphone users would probably unsubscribe. They get the Lunatone down, so they're finally able to Underworld Door, but they are down 1 Retrieval and 6 Psychic Energies. They are playing a ton of Psychic Energies, so they can always have one at hand to Underworld Door. They'll probably need like a Recycler or a Superior to really start hitting those big damage numbers. There's another Ultra Ball, can get another Calyrex, but realistically, how many energies do I have left? That's 11 accounted for. Probably have anywhere from... So we probably have at most like 15. Dumping a Fog Crystal on a boss. It's definitely a tell that they don't have a whole lot of energies left if they're like dumping Fog Crystal. So they will evolve into the other VMAX. There's another Underworld Door that gets them up to 6, so 190 damage, and they can use 1 Sun Energy and get to 220 damage. Still, that's not going to be even close to taking a knockout. So, Shadow Mist, and okay. We can just take this knockout for 2 prizes. Nest Ball. The issue is like with Tyranitar, we don't have like a damage bench Pokemon because we haven't found a Gapejaw Bog, or if we wasted a Gapejaw Bog early basically. So I don't even know what this Nest Ball could potentially get us. I guess the next Arceus maybe. This really like Gengar is sometimes better than the Bogs. Just Bogs help fix your math, and you don't have to put like a really Gengar can get trapped. It's also a very easy prize for Lost Sandbox decks to take. I will just fully load up this pack of Arceus. This is not, I guess this is not a Tyranitar deck right now. This is an Arceus deck, which, like, if this was like a regular Tyranitar deck and Tyranitar was your main thing, you'd be really struggling right now. I guess why Arceus' presence in the early game is so valuable, because it really helps. Okay, wow, throwing Arceus off the prize is nice. I probably should have checked for that before I benched this guy. Which having Arceus, we've like taken 3 prizes with it, and if we're not playing Arceus, our opponent would be way ahead. But now we're ahead. It's going to be kind of a tough game to close out for us, just considering how weak our hand is. we only need to take out one VMAX to win. So that's the important part. If they just play Escape Rope, I'm pretty okay with just giving them Larvitar. How many packs of the peaks have they dropped? They have 2 left. They're gonna go for a moon, but wait, no, not gonna go for a moon press. That would've been interesting, but they probably don't want to lose that second Medicham. Plus max dice for the knockout. Goodness, not talk. So I will promote this. I can promote business use because I have the other one in hand. Maybe if we top like a ball, we can do something cool for us. Okay, we always are gonna be doing this. We cannot Raihan just yet. We don't have an energy down. I could hard retreat on Raihan, but I don't really know what that does. So let's play a Colress, get the Tyranitar, get the boss's orders for sure, and then another fighting energy seems like it's probably a good idea. So we can go Candy Tyranitar, then it all ready to go is just another attacking option with the boss's orders in hand to be able to win next turn. We'll do this, and then find Switch Trinity Nova. So our opponent's definitely going to be looking to Iono us. I think we can just take the energy out of the deck. We probably have all our attackers in play that we're ever going to need. So let's see what our opponent can come up with. They've already spent 3 Ionos, and that very well could be all of them. But they have 6 energies in play, so 190 damage. They still need to find 3 more to be able to take this knockout with both for a Seal Stone. That can find like energy retrieval, Sun Energy can find one of them. So this Arceus is going to get taken out. So you can see that this Calyrex deck does have a very high power level once it gets going. Just setting up is sort of a headache. I feel like exactly like Lost Zone Box in the early game, kind of like Moonlight Shuriken or Lost Mine these guys. Yeah, my opponent just decides to concede. So let's see if we can use the other part of the deck this time, because we were able to carry that first game on the back of Arceus, but I would like to actually be able to use the Tyranitar part of my deck. It is cool to be able to feature the Arceus though, because I feel like that's what makes my build unique, where we have that early game presence of the Arceus. I love this hand aside from no energy drop. Like if I top like an energy, this hand is insane. So our opponents, wait for our opponent to finish setting up. I really want to make sure like if we're gonna send like Lost Zone, we get these guys on early and evolved up quickly, because then otherwise we're gonna send another Arceus deck. I can certainly, okay, that's not a bad op. We'll get all of our dudes on the bench and just pass on over. We can evolve into Arceus, play Iono, we can establish Pidgeot. So I'm very, like, the only thing that this hand's missing was an energy. If we have an energy instead of one of these 2 cards, we are doing awesome. So we're against some sort of Arceus Pidgeot deck, probably Charizard, could be Chin-Pao, or I've just seen like straight Arceus Pidgeot before. It has done well at a couple online tournaments. Okay. But it's probably Charizard, because that thing is literally everywhere online right now. So let's see which Terastal EX does better. Yep, it is Arceus Charizard. So which Obsidian Flames Terastal EX will reign supreme? There is an Artisan. Like, I really would love to Bog in this opening hand too, because like if I can, like the issue with Gapejaw Bog is if I'm using it as a damage modifier for Arceus, is all the cards like Nest Ball, Artisan, and VIP that get things straight out of the deck, it totally dodges. So that's like the one big flaw with it. Like even our own deck, we'd so much rather have like a quick ball instead of Nest Ball. If there's the Bog, I don't think we actually need to use this Artisan for ourselves. So I'll Bog, I'll evolve. I'd like to get like something else down the bench and soak it up with a little damage. Tyranitar and Rare Candy Energy. Ooh, this is a lot to work with. Well, Starbirth. I want to get the Pidgeot. We could set up Manaphy if we're afraid of Delphox. I don't really care about that too much. Okay, I think we probably just grab. I probably just grab like we just get like the other bench, like another bench sitter. I don't really want to mention another 2 pairs. I guess we already have Ultra. It's a very good hand. I guess I'm just gonna grab another Rare Candy. The timer is kind of stressing me out here. So we'll get the Pidgeot down. Then we'll also Candy into Tyranitar. So then I'm just going to use this Ultra Ball. I'll get rid of both Arceus because this VSTAR should be plenty safe. We'll get down the Manaphy. Honestly, let's get down Alakazam instead because Manaphy is not really likely to be too useful for them. We've already evolved as much of our Pokemon. So this can soak up the damage from the Gapejaw Bog. And then we can quick search. I'll just grab a research for next turn. And then we will attach the fighting to be active and pass. We had a very strong turn that last turn. And yeah, getting quick search up for this deck is awesome. And even getting Alakazam down could make for some interesting plays down the road, like especially when we have Pidgeot to really enable a lot of those crazy combos like Medicham and Yogaloop. Nest Ball does just bypass the Gapejaw Bog again, which is really annoying. My opponent does not needed to manually drop anything. They're playing V-Guard in their deck here. Okay, they're like trying to. Wow, their hand just sucks. Okay. Raihan off the top is pretty unfortunate. And a handful of energies is too. Okay. Alright, what we're gonna do. I'm gonna grab an escape rope and I'm just gonna do whatever the first attack is. The mountain thing. We'll get escape rope. Mountain hurl. I was gonna say mountain hurt, that's what it looked like from down here, but like that doesn't sound right. And no matter what they bring up, I don't really care. I'm gonna hurl into it. That sounds wrong. Don't take that out of context, please. So yeah, it's pretty clear my opponent doesn't have much, and they want to have this. Okay, they'll give us a Charmander. I am content with that. It's energy there, and I could go for a Pupitar this turn, but I don't really feel like I need to, so I'll just hurl. Hopefully we don't mill some meaningful things. I'm okay milling those. The EXP share is kind of could be useful, but I'm considering we're already on Raihan as well. Oh, we have candy for the next T-Tar. Yeah, getting Raihan and EXP share is annoying. But if they go into the Pidgeot, okay, they top deck the Arceus VSTAR. Only have one Charizard in play though, and there we go. They actually ping themselves. So we can do some stuff with those counters now. It'd be nice if they mentioned another thing, then we can go like move those counters and then Yogaloop. But it also means our Tyranitar can hit for 300 total damage. Like also if they like are playing Magma Basin, we can mess around with those damage counters. The Starbirth for a Jacques. That could be just getting Pidgeot and Charizard, and I'll have double Rare Candy. So my opponent is a little slow, but they're going to be setting up pretty well now. So so what I think I'm gonna be doing here, I'm going to be using that quick search, finding boss's orders, and just hitting into this Pidgeot Beast or Pidgeot EX. I don't know why I keep saying VSTAR this video. I guess because everything is VSTARs right now, it seems like. Alright, there's another Fire Energy. So they're going to be attacking with the Arceus. There's the Candy Pidgeot. Probably be looking to set up the barrel. One card I would really like in this deck, and it makes some sense with the Pidgeot to have access to it, is Echoing Horn. Because with the Lightning Rampage being able to one-shot Pokemon Vs, being able to just drop on the bench for an easy 2 prizes late in the game is pretty appealing. Collapsed, I don't really mind too much. They'll bin their Arceus, which I guess is pretty good for them, but I don't mind too much. So they're probably just going to Trinity Nova. No, they're going to Burning Darkness. Okay. So I can just boss's orders and knock out Pidgeot. Then the issue is this Charizard is hitting 270, but then they don't have a lot of their cool plays at their own disposal. So let's see. Quick search is always going to be the way to go this turn. I think we'll just go ahead and grab a boss's orders. Let's take out that Pidgeot. That's going to be really their best. Like, I know they do have a barrel to keep drawing cards, but really Pidgeot is the star of the show. So let's just play the boss's orders, and we'll be hitting it for weakness and knocking it out. We could mess around with those damage counters, but I don't think we need to just yet. We'll Lightning Rampage for the knockout. Hitting 500 damage, way overkill on that Pidgeot. But now the issue is, we already discarded Raihan, And already discarded EXP share, so I guess a PAL pad is something that would be pretty nice. And it's a pretty solid card because Pidgeot can always find it. One of art is so much better when you're playing Pidgeot. Because now like we can quick search for double turbo and then hit for 180. But then our opponent can knock us out back with their Charizard. They would need like a Defiance Band or Vitality Band. Then we're in a really tricky spot. We'd like this Arceus to stick for a turn. There's the other Charizard. Echoing Horn could also enable more Medichams, more crazy Medicham things. I'm very okay with them putting down a Lost City. It really doesn't affect what I do over here. Like just losing the Tyranitar is pretty relevant. So there's the Charizard EX. And they probably don't have a whole lot. I guess they haven't discarded any energy, so they should be able to load this guy up and maybe even establish the energy on the barrel, so they have the retreat option. That looks like what they're gonna do. And they can Burning Darkness for 270. All right, this is very interesting. It is the best play here to promote. Like Tyranitar is gonna be very hard for them to knock out, basically impossible. So I think the play this turn is actually to attach to Tyranitar and use Mountain Hurl, and then next we build it into the Lightning Rampage. Okay, that's a quality top deck. Or do we just Boss's Orders on Lightning Rampage but barrel, and then go to Boss's Orders next turn KO Arceus? Oh, but then if I Lightning Rampage this, my opponent does or is able to knock out an Arceus or Pidgeot with Charizard. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play an Iono this turn. Or I could just play Colress to secure some more pieces, because Iono doesn't really hurt my opponent that much. I think that sounds a little bit better to me. Then we will just play a Colress. I would like a Boss's Orders, and I'll also take Nest Ball and the other double turbo. Gapejaw Bog would have been kind of cool to maybe able to set up some crazy Medicham stuff. So if I Painful Spoons these to the active, then Mountain Hurl for 140, I won't be able to take it out with the Arceus. So I guess what I'm going to do is I'll just Mountain Hurl and don't need to mess with those damage counters just yet. Let's do that. Hopefully painless cards. Alright, I'm okay with that. And Iono is great in the late game, but it's kind of mitigated when they have the bear. So the next turn we can quick search for a Fighting Energy, and then take this knockout, and then we'll have a double turbo plus Boss Orders to close out the game. I've probably dumped all their stadium cards. That's 4. So yeah, probably if we just dropped a Bog, that would stick for the rest of the game. Setting up another Pidgey. Ooh, that is something that Yoga Loop can really mess around with, but we can't quite get there all in one turn. There's an Industrious and Scissors. And if they can somehow find a knockout on one of these two guys, that'd be very good for them. But they would need to have a Boss's Orders and a Vitality Band or Defiance Band. That's why we had to prioritize Pidgeot in the early game, because it just gets so much value and helps them have crazy swing turns. And like Pidgeot is just like, it's just such an insane card. Like I can't believe how much I underrated it. Okay. I still have a 2 boss left. Good. Like this is pretty nice for them, because they can treats and potentially be able to soak a hit on this Charizard, make things harder for me, but I'll just take the KO down here. Which one's better to do first? KO the Barrel or KO Charizard? Well, actually KO Charizard, because Arceus cannot KO Barrel or KO the Charizard. So we'll just quick search and find Fighting Energy. I'm just getting like every single turn. These hands would be so bad if it weren't for Pidgeot. And Pidgeot is just such a nuts card. I'll play Boss's Orders, and then I'll just. Do I need a thin Nest Ball? No, I'll keep Nest Ball kind of low key here, because another way we can close out this game is with Medicham. So I'll move those counters there, and then I'll drop Choice Belt. We don't really ever want to redraw that card, and then we'll just Lightning Rampage for the knockout. It's 1 prize away, so as long as we're able to, the reason I guess probably what we should have done is played Nest Ball and put down Medicham, But then we like sort of revealed that we had that as an option because like the only way we can really lose at this point, their opponent can take this knockout, which they already have, and then play an Iono. But then we need a boss's orders and double turbo. They have Pidgeot anyway. There's a candy Pidgeot. Wow, okay. This is gonna be interesting. They have only spent one boss's orders as well, so and only one Iono. Wow. We might actually lose this one at the very end. We need to draw well if this, like all of my energies and boss orders in hand, I can't even draw them off Iono. Dang. So if they Iono, we probably lose. Unless they only have played one boss's orders. Oh, Mew. I don't think that matters. If we had Bog in play and they dropped that, then that could be game changing. Oh man. So close. Hopefully there's quick search. I'm pretty sure that's gonna find a Iono. I'd be pretty surprised if it doesn't. I mean, they can put me down to 1 card and they have a huge hand. Just Burning Darkness. They do not go for Iono. What do they quick search for? Surely they have more than just one Iono in their deck, unless multiple are prized. Alright, we kind of lucked out there, but we're going to be able to steal this game. Wow. Sometimes I don't know with people who play on ladder. Like, they just not see that that's the optimal play, or are their lists just not that good, or is it just bad luck with prize cards? We'll never know, but we'll still take this game with the Arceus Tyranitar deck. So pretty funny games overall. So there you have it for Tyranitar EX. The list is definitely not perfect. I just wanted to get out this starting point list because Tyranitar was one of my most requested decks that I have not made yet. So I hope that this helped you out, and if it did, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. And if you want to see a video about another Obsidian Plains Pokemon EX, then check out this one, Glamora EX, where I pair it alongside PAL VSTAR. Thank you for watching.